Crypto Hotep here with another trading video. Guys, this video we're going to be talking about another crypto market update similar to the one we had last week, where I go over my sentiments on the market, news events coming up that could affect the markets, and then we also go over our crypto spot altcoin portfolio that we track with CoinStats, but we trade with Coinbase. And just overall where I think the market's going. But with that being said, guys, just know none of this financial advice. Please do your own due diligence, researching coins, understanding the markets, understanding blockchain before you put down your hard-earned money. And as always, guys, got to give a shout out to Coinbase for sponsoring the video. They are the GOAT crypto brokerage. I've been using them for over 5 years, and I continue to use them. If you want to support the channel, besides resharing, subscribing, and commenting, use that link below in the description to set up your Coinbase account. And even if you have one, still use that link because they will give me a portion of the transaction fees that they charge you. So you guys will actually be, quote unquote, paying me without actually unloading your wallet. So with that being said, guys, we'll jump in here. We're going to start with some news events. So this upcoming week, Monday through Friday, there's a couple things going on. So Monday is a little quote unquote quiet, but we have a lot of Fed chairs that are speaking. So Fed Williams, Fed Jefferson, Kashkari, Waller, and Logan. These folks are all speaking on Monday. They can affect the markets. So these speeches can affect the markets because it could show insight into how the Fed is feeling about interest rate cuts in the foreseeable future. So again, that will create a ripple effect across all markets. So something to keep in mind. In addition to that, Tuesday we have Fed Bar also speaking. We also do have the ADP employment change as well. So the employment change is the alteration of the employment numbers. So this is normally that basically that the reclassification or the change from numbers that were previously reported. So again, that could also place some volatility in the markets, but more than likely it'll probably just be a little blip, maybe a nothing burger. What will be is the FOMC minutes. So the FOMC minutes is a meeting that basically you will get some sort of feeling on interest rate cuts, where they stand, what they see in the future, and if the market feels bullish on those rate cuts, we may front run them on Wednesday. So you may see a big move up, or if they are hawkish, a big move down. Okay. On Thursday, we have Fed Hammock speaking, and then we do have Fed Cook and then Fed Goolsbee as well. So a lot more speeches again, but we do have initial jobless claims. Okay, so again, something to keep in mind. Again, we want lower numbers for those jobless claims. That will be bullish for us. So we want lower numbers on these initial jobless claims. And then Friday, we have Fed Williams, Fed Bar, Fed Jefferson, and Fed Lowell closing it out for Friday. Okay, so with that being said, guys, let's just go into the markets here and just see what's going on in terms of the crypto markets. So again, we're going into the crypto market overview via CoinMarketCap. Okay, it's a very good tool I like to use. Let's start with the fear and greed index. There has been a lot of doom and gloom, whether it be on Twitter, whether you hear it on Reddit, and as of right now, the crypto fear and greed index is at a 17. That is extreme fear levels. If you look at the charts, and I'm going to bring this down to the 1 year. So within a 1 year time frame, we have entered extreme fear levels, which we've only seen within the year in March and in April. Both of these times has signified a definitive bottom. Okay, so that's something good to hear. Do we know when that is going to happen? No, we don't, but we are in that area as of right now. Okay, so that's something good to note. Altcoin season index. So as of right now, altcoin season is nowhere to be seen. As you can see from this chart, from this 90-day chart, altcoin season index is in the blue. Altcoin market cap is in the gray. And as you can see, it's been slowly declining, very similarly to the fear and greed index. Okay. Bitcoin dominance, and we'll go through the charts on the Bitcoin dominance, but it is below 60. So below 60 Bitcoin dominance, you like to see that. You want to see anything below 60 because that means a rotation is going to happen into those alts, hopefully, right? And let's see, let's go to, let's go to the heat map here. So let's go to the heat map for TradingView. Nothing too spectacular as of right now. There is a little bit of kind of stagnation and a little bit of the downside. So Ethereum's down a little bit less than 1%. Solana down less than 1% here. But Zcash has been showing life for the past month. I'm thoroughly impressed with Zcash and those Zodlers, if you will. They've been holding strong, but like Ave's down over 7.5%. So a mixed bag, but it's still not showing bullish greenish pressure here. It's not by any means here. So let's go to, let me exit this out. Let's go to our charts here and let's see what's going on. Let's see what's cooking here. So if we go to the charts, we're going to go to the dollar for right now. So let's go to the dollar. And the dollar currently looks pretty good to me. So the dollar, if we go top to bottom at the RSI, it's rejected by the 50 RSI, which is what you would like to see. And then we also, if we look here at the actual candles, this 100 level here, this weekly level, has been rejected this candle 2 weeks ago, or almost 3 weeks ago, I should say. And then last week, or 2 weeks ago, and then last week, we saw a bullish doji, but it was rejected from this level. So there was no other movement into this level here. And then here this week, it's almost like a bearish doji is forming. Nothing is formed yet. And again, we have 5 days left in this cycle right now, but just keep that in mind. That's what we like to see. We like to see that. Okay. USDC. Let's look at USDC. USDC is telling a different story, and I don't really like that story. So as of right now, USDC has a golden cross, a weekly golden cross, which means that the 50 and the 200 overlap one another to the upside. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see stablecoin dominance increase. We want to see it decrease. But I will say this, we are getting toward overbought levels in USDC dominance right here. We have seen those levels in April. Again, April was when those levels were hit, where we saw a stable coin top in April, and then it consistently descended from April down until, I would say, August. So we're seeing that currently. Unfortunately, I don't think the bleeding or the pain will end so abruptly. I think we may wick up into this area, and that could mean alts drop a little bit more. But I think if this level holds, if this weekly mitigated level holds, then we could definitely see dominance get rejected from this level and come crashing down. There's a lot of runway right here that would reach this weekly area, this weekly mitigated zone here. So that's what I'm hoping, because if we get this rejection for USDC dominance, then the alts can play, then Bitcoin can play. It'll be a good day. Okay. USDT dominance, very similar. So USDT dominance, again, there was like a bottoming in August here. Again, April, we saw it. We saw it basically tap into that weekly mitigated area right here. Weekly mitigated area, came down, bottomed out August, and now we're coming back into this area, and it's getting close to being extremely overbought as well. Okay, so we need the levels to hold, though. We need the supply and resistance weekly levels for USDC and USDT to hold when they come in contact with them. Okay, that's what we need to happen. ETH BTC, so ETH BTC, this is related to the altcoin market. So ETH BTC, we are seeing, right? So we are seeing this level, this new weekly supply level form, right? We can see ETH BTC price coming down into the fib golden zone, which is between 50 and 61.8% right here. So what we're hoping is price bottoming out in this area for a move back up. So if this, and this correlates to the USDC and USDT charts, if you haven't noticed, this is going down, USDC and USDT was going up, and it's very near bottoming levels for ETH BTC and very near top levels for USDC and USDT, right? So they correlate just very oppositely. Okay, let's go to total 3, which is the altcoin market. So the altcoin market, it looks a little shaky, but I'm going to talk through it here. So the weekly levels for the altcoin market, which is total 3, has been held. Okay, so it got rejected again. We're coming down into, we're into the 50 EMA, which is this purple line. We've also passed the golden fib zone. However, right now, price is below the fib golden zone. I don't fully negate the zone until we start trading below it, wick and body candle both, meaning that the body of this candle is still technically in this fib golden zone. So this fib golden zone, for me, is still valid. So I'm still going to hold to this. I have to see the body of the candle fully close and start trading below this for me to take this off and adjust my viewpoint and perspective. Okay, so with that all being said, I still believe in this area until otherwise. Okay, let's go to BTC. So let's go to the king here. So BTC, it still looks okay to me. As of right now, again, it's very similar to total 3's chart. Currently, it's trading below this weekly mitigated area. However, the body is still in the zone. So, there's still hope right here. So there's still hope here. But I will say this. If we start trading, if I get 2 preceding candlesticks trading below this zone right here, game over, pack it up, it's done. It's done. We'll see you in a year or 2. So again, we have to keep this level, and I want to keep this level above or within this area here, as well as the 50 EMA. Okay, and the RSI is also trading below 50. We haven't done that since September 2023, just as a heads up. So let's go to ETH. ETH looks a little better than Bitcoin, if I'm being honest, which is very odd. But ETH looks a little bit better than Bitcoin. Why? Because it did cross below this weekly mitigated area. That's completely fine. I'm not really worried about that because technically we held this area up. So what I mean is we price for ETH pushed up past this weekly mitigated area. So technically, based on my rules, it's traded 1, 2, 3 candlesticks above this area. So we can actually get rid of this area right here, which I am going to do. And I'm going to get rid of this area and this and this. So right now we're kind of in a almost free falling price action here, only because there's no support or demand fully until we get to near 2000 levels near this green box. However, that's why we bring our fib retracement tool out, and we see that we have a golden zone, 50, 61.8 here, that price can base and bottom off to. This is what we're hoping. So what we're hoping is ETH's price bottoms somewhere around 31, 3200, and then pushes higher here past 46. That's what we're hoping. Again, it looks a little better than Bitcoin because price is still fully in this area. It hasn't drastically collapsed through it, but we will see. Okay. Let's go to the trades that we are actually in currently. So currently we are in AERO, and again, these are all spot trades. If you're unfamiliar with, I don't trade on leverage. They're all spot trades, and they're all placed on Coinbase Advanced. Last week we bought AERO, and then red candle, kaboom right here, as you can see. But not worried about this because it came into this weekly mitigated area and it's still holding. So not really worried about this, but technically we are still in a downtrend for AERO. This did not break the downtrend. Why? Because it just wicked through it and then it came down. Again, my rules are the candlestick has to go through the zone, has to go through the downtrend, and it has to trade above it for it to be valid. It hasn't done that yet, but I'm still good. I'm still good with AERO and the project and my position. Let's go to C. C is still at the same spot we were in last week, so I'm not buying any more C right now. Waiting to see buyers step into this weekly mitigated area or this one. Remember, you have two here, so just keep that in mind. And again, I would like to see a break from this downtrend, if I'm being honest. Okay. Uniswap, we did buy Uniswap, so we bought some Uniswap here. Why did I buy it? Because the bullish pressure from Uniswap was so great last week. This candlestick was a tremendous move, so it did get rejected by the 200 and the 50 EMA. However, it still remained bullish for me, and it did break the downtrend fully. So I'm good with this. I'm good with that candlestick, and I did buy some more Uniswap. I believe I bought some at about $7.25. So I did add some more Uniswap. And then Graph has been very stubborn. Very, very stubborn. Doesn't want to let up. Buyers don't want to come into this level. And this is kind of the last barrier of entry. As you can see here, we're going to 2022 lows for Graph. So just waiting. Again, I'm still waiting. You see my buys right here. I'm waiting to buy more of Graph. And then Near is still an accumulation box, which is just fine with me. Still an accumulation. Still near the weekly mitigated area, still ranging, not really worried about it, still in accumulation. So let's go into the actual portfolio and we'll show you the actual percentages here. So percentage wise for our spot altcoin portfolio, for 1 month we're at a positive 6.9%. 3 month negative 13.19%, 6 month 55% positive, and then year we are at 114.48%. And these are accumulation of all my trades, all my wins and such. For AERO, you can see our current P&L is 4.82%. We do have some USD to buy those dips with, such as the dips we bought on Uniswap. Uniswap, we are up 0.34%, Near Protocol down over 15%, C down over 28%, and then Graph down over 40%. So again, if you're familiar with this channel and how I trade, I segment my buys out, and here we'll quickly go to the charts and then we'll close out here. But here you can see these green rocket ships. These are designating my buys, and I usually quarter my buys out. So if I have a set amount that I want to purchase a coin with, say for instance the set amount is $1,000, I'll usually quarter, or I'll quarter those buys out into fives. So basically that means every buy at a significant level I'm going to spend about $200. And the reason I do that is because I've set rules about when I'm going to buy and where I'm going to buy. I just don't buy blindly for my spot altcoin portfolio. There are rules that I do have to follow for that. Okay. And again, if you're unfamiliar with that, go to week, or go not go to week, but go to the channel, go to my trading strategy, and just go to the first video. I think it has like 1,500 views on there. But as always, guys, if these videos were helpful at all, please like, subscribe, share, comment. It helps the channel out greatly. And as always, guys, thank you and happy trading.